Afternoon, this is Walt. I'm doing a slight video to test how the system is working. I've had people ask me about the tooling that I just put up, how I did the trees. I want to keep these videos short, so what I thought was I would go over like the pine trees, and then I'll go over the other trees so I can keep it in a reasonable time frame. So I'll just wet it. I'm using scrap. I did this before. I did that piece so I could try out different methods, find out what I liked. And I also kept a piece of scrap available. As a matter of fact, this was the piece with me when I was working to test the stamp to make sure I had it set right. On the closer stamp, or closer pine tree, I used an F912R and L. I'll give it a stamp so you can see what it looks like. And okay, let's see if I can do that a little better with both hands. There we go. If you can see that, it's kind of fuzzy and I apologize. This is the one I would use when I was making some of the closer pine trees. And on the left side of the tree, I would use the 912R, and I would put the thick side to the bottom, and I would strike it, and then I'd come down a little bit and hit it again. Then I would go to the 912 left, and I would come up, and I'm sorry I'm in your way right now, but you'll see in a second. And what I'm doing is, when I strike it, you can see where my tool ends up right here. I'm going to take the front end of it and put it in that same groove and come down. Once I do that, then I can do the center of the tree. I've done this a couple different ways. I've done it with these stamps, and in this case, I'm going to use the F912 right on the right side. And I'd come in about where my bottom bough was, angle up, and strike. And just kind of come up the tree a little bit. This way I wasn't super happy with. It does work if you come down lower. And you'll see how this side is doing much better. Once I've done that, to do the center, I would just lightly, I'd either come straight down at an angle or across just a little bit to give the illusion of branches in the front, because the tree is round, so you have to give the illusion of the roundness of it by putting branches here. Once I've done that, then I will take a F 871. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. That was the one for the other tree. A F941, a smooth beveler. And I will come in. When I do it, I'm angling it up into the branches and just walking it. And you can see I'm beveling it back. And this is just the first step. I'll push it back a little bit more. Because that is one of the most important things with making the trees and give you the illusion of depth, is pushing your lines back so that you can have that illusion of depth. Once I've beveled here, then I'll take a matting tool, and I'll use a couple of them. What I generally start with is a Barry King matting tool. I have this in the 2 smallest sizes. I'll put a mark in here, and you can see what it looks like. I like this, and this is the second biggest one, because I can come in and gently push it back. I don't want to mash this thing down too far. And yes, honey, I said mash. Because you've only got a small amount of depth to do all of it. So I push it back a little bit. Then I will come in with a matting tool, a smooth one for this place, and I'll come around and just gently push it back some more, and you can hear how lightly I'm tapping, because I don't want to drive it down. I just want to smooth it out. And there you have one of the pine trees that I did. I'm going to show you using the same tools, but a different way that I think works better. I'm going to use the same F912 left and right to get the outline. I'm going to strike it in. I'm going to come down, strike that one in. Then I'm going to go to the other side, come down, strike it in, and come down. That will give me my basic outline. Then I've used the F925 and one from Tandy, an old craft tool, which is here. And then I took the new F925 and I did some work to it because it was a little bit too thick in my opinion. And I adjusted it to give me close to the same shape. The F925 has little tiny serrations on the back side. Works real good to give the illusion of the trees. I'm going to come in upside down and I'm just going to work up. I'm tilting the tool on its side a little bit because I don't want to drive it all the way down. I just want to give it a little bit of a kiss on the outside and let it fade out in the middle. And you don't have to do every one of these pieces, but you just have to play with it a little bit, figure what works for you, and go from there. Then to do the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come up, come in, and strike the tool. You can hear I'm not using a lot of force when I do it. And then I can come in and I can give me some branches that comes, to the front. You can kind of go across to give you branches that look like they're coming down out. You can kind of come down a little bit more. You're just trying to make that texture. In the tooling that I did, the trees were stacked up one on top of another, and you didn't see any of the trunks. Made it a little bit easier. That next, I'm going to grab my beveler. Now there it is. Misplace it again. And I'm just going to come down and walk it down. Working down into these edges. I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to start at the top or the bottom. And work it back. By doing this, you're going to give the illusion of depth. And that's all we've got is an illusion. I'll take the matting tool, or matting beveler, I guess is what you call it. I'll kick it up just a little bit. I don't want the shadow where the antique will collect. So I just come down and push it back just a little bit. I'll do the same at the top. What I love about these, I can work it as a beveler, but it's small enough where I can work this one into a lot smaller places than the, I guess the comparable would be the 898, but with a smooth face. Then I'll come in here again with that and lightly tap it. Not tapping hard at all. And we have a tree. I personally like this method better than the other. I think it's more realistic. The final method that I'm going to show you is using F871, which is a tool designed for pine trees. And you can see how it's textured. And this one we run upside down. We run it with the point. So you can start top or bottom. Just usually I start at the bottom. Hit it and just walk it. Walk it up. Same thing on this side. It'll leave you some finer texture. Then I'll come back in with the 925. Well, let's do it a little differently. I'm going to come in with the F910 because you've seen me use the 925 on the other. This is a lined triangular beveler, and we're just going to come in and walk it. Walk it up a little bit. And you can bring it up. to give you a little bit of a rough texture. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And I'm leaning it a little bit on the toe when I do it. I'm not trying to be real smooth. I kind of want those jagged edges. And that way, those lines are giving me the texture. I'll do the same thing here that I did with the other. I'm going to put some bows on the front. And we have a pine tree. I'm going to go through, use the triangular beveler that is flat, and I'm going to come in, and you can come in and give it a little jagged edge to enhance it. I'll do the same thing on this side. I'll push it back. I'll take the small beveler, matting tool beveler, and I'll lightly push it back. And finally, I'll take the, what I call the 898 smooth, and gently push it back. These are 3 ways that you can make pine trees with the tools that I mentioned. I hope this was helpful. If it was, let me know and we'll continue to do these. Thanks very much for giving me a little bit of your time, and have a blessed day.